Listen, Linda, listen. It has been one of those weeks. Everybody sees the glory, but woo, the story behind some stuff. I just want to share wisdom. When you are creative or a leader of business or a public figure of any sort, a lot of times people only see the glam. They see the billboard. They see the you holding the microphone. They see the testimonials. They see all of the big things that you're doing, and the behind the scenes sometimes is really kicking our tail. We could have relationships falling apart. I went through a breakup during a couple ups and downs of breakup, in and out of a relationship leading up to this book, and actually in the beginning of breakup last year too. So yeah, I've been pretty busy. And then, just people coming along for the ride and realizing that it's a tough road. And yeah, I've got greatness on the inside of me. I've also got trauma I'm processing, and I'm also human. I also have needs, and expressing those needs shouldn't be a problem. And expressing and venting when things get hard, like the weekend leading up to this launch, where the editor and I were really pushing to get everything through, because poor baby had COVID and all kinds of stuff going on in her life during this process. And so, July 4th launch didn't happen, and that's life, and I've learned to try to roll with it, even though I'm someone that when I set a date, I want to the best of my ability, stick to it. And so that was rough, worrying about what people think. And that's just been a challenge, that I've been tested on. And I hope I get to that age where I stop caring to a certain extent. Um, and so there's been trials and problems and tests and challenges. It has not been easy in this last 13 months of setting an intention to publish this book. And in the process of even up till now, as of yesterday, I'm getting, not so pleasant emails, but yet and still there's a billboard that's up in Greensboro, North Carolina, with my picture and my name and the book, and my face, and the cover of the book is there. And it's like, you have a choice. You could say, you can engage the fight and get nasty back with that person. You could sit and wonder, what did I do wrong to deserve this, and if I shoulda, woulda, coulda, and they're treating me like this because of XYZ, or I'm gonna get a lawyer or whatever. You can engage that battle if you want to, and I mean, there are times that are appropriate to do so. At the same time, I'm so grateful for good people and friends that have been in my corner from day one, like my friend Tanika Ward, who walked in my little Section 8 apartment, nicely decorated. I took pride in my government assistant type of lifestyle I had while I was a student and a mom. But she's like, when are you going to get off your millions? And she's like, basically like, ew, you make me sick. Like, looking around, and everybody would compliment my place no matter where I lived. And I thought, well, it's just a little apartment. It's just little on me. I don't see what you see. And now I'm starting to, but you still have these things that come along that try to rip the smile off your face. And you have to make a choice. So when I was talking with her, she's someone that we can share our prophetic dreams, and we can share visions of things that, we've seen or experienced years ago or even currently. And I believe some of her prophecies and things she's been through have helped me survive the pandemic, because she had intuition and insight of warnings and things. So I took it very seriously when March 2020 hit, So it's very important to have good friends like that, spiritual people in your life. And I say that to say, I was sharing with her a dream I had in 2008, or vision, about walking on water with the Lord. And this might be super deep for y'all, but I mean, dreams sometimes are dreams can be a guidepost. Like if you're on the highway, it's telling you you're at exit 210, or you're uh, on Highway I-40 or I-95. You know, it's letting you know you're going in the right direction no matter what your belief is. And so I had a dream that I was walking on water, and I knew that a storm was coming, and I needed to pay attention to who I was leaning on, who I was trusting in, not the storm. And then the storm would pass, because you know it was written centuries ago that that's what, you know, if you want to sink, look at the storm. If you want to work miracles, look who and believe, stand on whom you believe in, which I believe in Jesus Christ. So and not the blonde hair blue eyed version either, period, poo. So he was Middle Eastern. Hello, you would need a lot of sunscreen to be pale in the Middle East. Anyway, so so I know the skin color doesn't matter regardless, but don't try to Europeanize my faith. No. So anyway, so was walking on water with him, and as I leaned into him and not paid attention to the big, huge, monstrous sized, you know, was it 1,000 Leagues Under the Sea type sea creatures that were coming up under the water and handing him things and talking to and interacting with him. And if I had been afraid, I would have sunk, you know, but I knew who I was with and who was with me, so I didn't. And same thing when I was flying in the air with him, you know. So yeah, this is a little bizarre, but this is why, this is the wisdom behind the billboards in this book, and the successful grocery delivery business and all these other things is this foundation. So bear with me. So I had, when I was sharing that with her the other day, while all these storms and things were going on this weekend and the weekend before and the last couple months, it reminded me when I looked at these emails yesterday and this weekend, and the rude text messages to me. I was just asking a question about your services that we contracted and you made sure you got paid very, very dearly for, regardless of the sorry publisher that you recommended. Anyway, so so I offer great customer service, and I try to be careful how I treat people. You never know who they're going to be and where you're going to be in a little while. Can I get an amen? And so I didn't understand or didn't like the way this person was making me feel, but I had to say, okay, who am I leaning on? Who am I trusting on? What am I going to focus on? I'm going to focus on my friends who rallied to help me and make sure that everything got out when it looked like all hell was, or Hades was going to break through, and I didn't have enough to finish what I've started. I focused on those who had encouraging words. I even focused on those who left out of my life but said very impactful, amazing things. I made a list of those things because yes, they're true, and I'm so glad that somebody got close enough to see it personally. And so I focused on those things, and also what God said, regardless of what I'm seeing or experiencing or what I'm feeling on the inside. And then there was another dream I had years ago where someone was chasing me down, me and my son down. And every level of the building we would go to, just when we thought that we were in a safe place, boom, that predator, that attacker would come. And at the time when I was running for my and my son's life, I didn't think this person's gonna kill me. You know, I just knew we had to be safe. And so finally we had angel type people step in and handle that person in that situation, and we were safe, and the scene changed. And I was now walking into what seemed like my destiny. I was on my way to a banquet, and I'm interacting with high profile people, calling them by their titles and talking, and they knew who I was. And all the time while I'm interacting with these high profile people and celebrities, the visions of the trauma is playing in my head of, oh my God, somebody was really trying to kill us. You know, someone was really trying to take us out. And I had to, in the dream, focus on the fact that somebody or some people that I did not even know were fighting for me and fought to save my and my son's life. And so that's what I had to practice consciously in the dream to focus on as I'm now at this new level with celebrities and well-known people and honorable titles and so on. And look at where I guess obviously I had a title or some form of celebrity if I'm rubbing noses with them, and I was on my way to a banquet behind a waterfall somewhere. So yeah, I have interesting spiritual dreams at times, and I feel like I used to dream so much more when I have more time to pray and read and meditate. And I want to get back to that place. So I'll take it day by day. So today, as the thought of that email, those emails, and that rejection and not so happy ending with that professional happened, I was driving and the idea of scripture from David came to mind in Psalm 55, because the hard part is that, you know, sometimes the hurt comes from your own skin or kinfolk. Sometimes the hurt comes from people who have the similar faith. And it's just like, but we have a similar faith, or you say you believe what I believe, and why are you treating me this way? We're not following this book here, you know? And so I have to go back to this here, and I just started reading it. And it was like, you know, David said, he said, give ear to my prayer, O God, and do not hide yourself from my supplication. Attend to me and hear me. I am restless in my complaint and moan noisily because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked. For they bring up trouble upon me, and in wrath they hate me. And he says, my heart is severely pained within me, and the terrors of death have fallen upon me. And I'm going to skip down. He says, verse 12, for it is not an enemy who reproaches me, then I could bear it. Nor is it one who hates me, who has exalted himself against me, then I could hide from him. But it was you, a man, or I'd say a woman, equal, my companion and my acquaintance. We took sweet counsel together and walked to the house of God in the throng. Let death seize them. Let them go down alive into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings and among them. And there's so much more that he says in this here that just brought me comfort. I don't wish bad on a person. The Bible also says in the New Testament, pray for those who despitefully use you. And that's what me and Tanika were doing yesterday and this weekend. And who hurt you. You know, because I've seen God handle some things for Tamika Wells that if I did it by myself and in and of my own strength, it wouldn't have been as effective. And also that person's life has been upgraded because they did finally change some of their ways. It says here, verse 19, God will hear and afflict them, even he who abides from old, because they do not change, therefore they do not fear God. He has put forth his hand against those who were at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. And so, yeah, it's a lot. I even like the last verse. Can I read it? Okay. But you, O God, shall bring them down to the pit of destruction. Bloodthirsty and deceitful men and women shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in you. And I may not always live right. I may not always, but I tell you what, he has been a better father and a family to me than anybody on this planet. And that's where I stand. And if I feel like I'm getting far away from him, I mean, I remember, and I'll close with this. I remember I had to do the same thing, and I probably haven't done this since then, but my son was 5, so that was about 2005, 2006. And I was going into teller school. I was about to graduate teller school, and my family member who was watching my son but was not being protective of his innocence by letting him watch rated R movies. That was my mom. You know, God rest her soul. Got offended when I said that I didn't want him watching rated R movies. And she said, if you don't like the way I'm, babysitting him, then you can find somebody else. Well, I didn't have anybody else. And so I was about to pull him out of school just to keep him in a full-time daycare until I could finish Teller school, because it was for the next level. See, every time I always tell my son there's trolls under the bridge. When you're getting ready to cross over, that'll be another video. When you're getting ready to cross over to the other side of something good, something great, there's usually a troll on the bridge, either to stop you, antagonize you, or get you off focus. And so I was about to graduate Teller school, take my test, and that morning, the day before my test, I didn't know who was going to watch my son, so I was calling the school to take him out of school, and the principal answered, and she made an arrangement for his assistant, teacher's assistant, to watch him, and I just slipped her what I could afford to watch him before and after school until this before and after school program started. And I remember that day going into like the last couple of days of training, because I think it was a couple of days before the test. So let's say if it was on a Friday, this was a Thursday morning that she said that, or I had to deal with all that. And I was just a broken mess, because, you know, you should be able to depend on family and loved ones. And especially when you're trying to move forward. And that was not my story a lot of the times when my son was little, and even throughout. And so I was just in tears. So the instructor saw me and she said, go sit in my office and calm yourself before you come to class. And I pulled this out and just opened up a Bible like this, and I just opened it up and started reading, you know, just started finding in it. Whatever I landed on, I don't remember, but it just gave me peace. And I got myself together. I had my box of tissues, got myself together, and I went back to class. And I was able to finish. You know, I was able to drop him off that next day at school early. And those volunteers were able to stay and keep him safe while I took my test and became a teller, and eventually a banker, and then got into corporate banking, and then became an entrepreneur. But I wouldn't have been able to if those people hadn't stepped up, and God hadn't supplied a miracle and gave me the peace and the solace to make it through a hard situation like that. So that was 2005. This is 2022, and it's still the same thing. I just have to watch my focus, and you have to watch your focus and what you're going to turn to, what brings you solace, who is there for you. Don't focus on who's not. Don't focus on who ain't, who isn't, who's hating, because what we focus on is what's going to multiply. And I want to multiply those types of people in relationships that stay with me through all this, that didn't abandon me when I seemed to be too much, or too angry, or too frustrated, or too needy, or ask questions or set boundaries that they didn't like. But I want people who accept me as I am and know that I'm a work in progress. I've been through way too much to settle for less. And I am an added value. I'm an added resource. And I also deserve to be around people who add value and are resourceful to me and my calling, and those who I love. I'm a giver. So you are too. So don't hang around takers. You know, it'll deplete you, and then you won't have enough for those who you are assigned to give to. So dear codependents, dear rescuers, you got to start saying no and start saying yes to what's best for you and your purpose. So I'm Tamika Wells. I am the published author of Into the Soul of a Woman. You can find it on Amazon or TamikaWells.com. I'm also an EFT practitioner, helping people work through the trauma and the pain that you'll find in this book. And I'm also a coach for female entrepreneurs to take your business to the next level. And I do all this. I don't have to say who I believe in, and I don't have to shove my faith down your throat. It's not by what I say or what I purport, but how the results and how I treat you. All right. So y'all take care. Go buy the book, share it with a friend, save them from suicide, save them from doing catastrophic things, because we can make it through. We're going to do it together. Take care.